In this video, we are going to go over a worksheet B-68. As you can see, there's not very much room to go and do your work on this. So we're going to do it on our own piece of paper. So I'll write B-68 on top. And let's begin. So question 1. Daphne bought 3 paintbrushes at $4.25 each, an easel for $30, and 8 tubes of paint for $2.95 each. How much money did she spend altogether? So she bought 3 paintbrushes at $4.25, an easel for $30, and 8 tubes of paint for $2.95. How much money did she spend altogether? Well, we're just going to add all those totals up. So it's going to be the 3 paintbrushes. This is number 1, by the way. 3 paintbrushes, plus the 1 easel, plus the 8 tubes of paint. 8 tubes of paint. So how do we figure this out? Well, 3 paintbrushes for $4.25. Well, that's just $4.25 times 3. We're going to figure that out. We're going to add it to the easel, which is $30. And then we're going to add that to the 8 tubes of paint, which are at $2.95 each. So, whoops, I should write $2.95 times 8. And once I get this answer, I'm going to add it to 30 and the 8 tubes of paint, and I should get my total answer. And that's how you do number 1. Once you figure that out, your answer should be $66.35. And that's that. Number 2. Let's go over number 2. Roberto needs 10 kilograms of clay for a ceramics project. He already has 3 pieces that weigh 1.3 kilograms, 2.4 kilograms, and 0.9 kilograms. How much more does he need? So he needs 10 total, and he already has this much. So what you're going to do is you're going to add up the clay he already has. So this is the clay he already has. So it's 1.3 plus 2.4. Don't forget to line up your decimals when you add them. And 0.9. So you're going to add, this is the clay up. So this, and then you're going to subtract. So how much he needs? How much? Sorry, this is much. How much needed? Minus how much he has. So how much is needed is 10 kilograms. How much he has? Well, we don't know what that number is. So if you subtract 10 minus whatever that number is, you should get 5.4 kilograms will be your answer once you've solved that. Number 3. Let's take a look at number 3. Let's go back to my orange pen. Sing Lu. Actually, I'm going to fold this paper so that we can see number 3 a little bit more easily. Sing Lu jogs around a park near her house 3 times a week. The distance around the park is 0.8 miles. How many laps around the park are necessary to run 6 miles? So this has some extra information. Our 3 times a week has nothing to do with anything. But the distance around the park, which is 1 lap, is 0.8 miles. How many laps are you going to run to get to 6 miles? So how many times do you have to run 0.8 miles to get to 0.6? Well, you can keep adding 0.8 plus 0.8 plus 0.8 plus 0.8 until you get to 6 miles, or you can just divide. So our 6 miles divided by 0.8, which is how many laps there are. And if you actually want to work on that problem, you're going to write down in and out. So the 6 is in, the 0.8 is out. And remember, you can't divide with that decimal on the outside number. So you're going to move it 1 space right there. So this decimal, which normally would be right here, would go 1 space over, which means we have to add another 0. So what you will actually be dividing is 8. So 60 divided by 8 is actually what you're going to be doing. And then once you solve that, you're going to get that is about 7.5 laps. are needed to be run in order to hit 6 miles. Number 4. Move that down a bit. Number 4. Karen's hobby is chemistry. For one experiment, she used 3 liters of water and 3 empty beakers. She poured 0.7 liters into the first beaker, twice that amount in the second beaker. And how much water was left in the third beaker? So she has 3 liters total. And she pours 0.7 into the first, twice that for the second. And we're kind of trying to find how much is in the third. So if I'm going to plan this out, I am going to write first beaker, second beaker, and third beaker. So these are my 3 beakers. How much is in the first beaker? Well, I have 3 liters total. 3 liters total water. So in the first one, she poured 0.7. In the second one, she poured twice that amount. So twice that amount is 0.7 times 2, or 0.7 plus 0.7, whichever you decide to do. And then in the third beaker, I don't know. But it is, third beaker, we want to find out how much is left over for that. So if we want to find out how much is left over, we're going to take our 3 liters total, 3 total liters, which is 3, minus the first beaker, minus the second beaker. And that's going to get us how much we have in our third beaker. First beaker is 0.7, and second beaker is 0.7 times 2. And whatever that answer is. And that's going to, or you can just add up these two and subtract 3, subtract it from 3, and that's going to get you your answer as well. And once you solve all that, you're going to figure out that number 4 is, she has 0.9 liters left. Let's look at number 5. I'm going to fold my paper again in order to make it easier to read question number 5. All right, actually not orange pen. Actually, I'm going to go to a pink pen. Why not? Question number 5. Mia makes decorative candies by pouring melted chocolate into molds. Each mold holds 0.4 ounces of chocolate. Mia bought a 20-ounce bag of chocolate, but Aria has used 10.4 ounces. How many candies can she make with the chocolate she has left? So she had a 20-ounce bag, but she used 10.4, so we need to subtract 10.4 from it. Don't forget to line up the decimals and then subtract. And this is going to be our leftover chocolate. Our leftover chocolate. So if if each mold can hold 0.4 ounces of chocolate, you're going to divide our leftover chocolate divided by 0.4, which is how much is needed for each piece of candy. And once you figure that out, you're going to have an answer, which is, you should make 24 pieces of candy. Let's look at number 6. I better flip the page over because I am out of room. Question number 6. Let's use my blue pen. Luis. Let's try that. Luis bought 2 pieces of wax to make candles. One piece weighed 3.49 kilograms and the other one weighed 4.71 kilograms. If wax costs 180 per kilogram, how much did Luis spend altogether? So this one's not too bad. You're going to add up how much wax he bought, and then so 3.49 kilograms plus the 471. Don't forget to line up the decimals. Kilograms, and that's going to get you your total wax. Now, if it costs 180 per kilogram, total wax in kilograms, you're going to multiply that by the cost per kilogram, which is 180. And once you do that, you will have your final answer. And your final answer for this one should be about 1476. All right, let's look at number 7. I'll fold my paper again, because why not? As long as I fold it properly and we can still read everything. There it is. Number 7, using my pink pen this time. Number 7. Keogh's model airplane used 0.03 liters of fuel each minute it flies. If the fuel tank holds 0.5 liters, how long can the plane fly without refueling? So this is how much it has total, and it uses this much per minute. How many times? How many minutes will it fly? Well, you can add 0.3 again and again and again and again until you get to 0.5, or you can just divide. So 0.5, that's how much total liters of fuel it has, and you divide it by how much it wastes per minute, so 0.03. So remember, in and out. 0.5 is in, and then 0.03 is out. After I set it up, remember the decimal, how that goes. You go 2 spaces over because you can't have a decimal on that outside number, which means I have to move this 2 spaces over, which means I have to add a 0 placeholder. And if I rewrite my division problem so that I can actually do it, I would end up with 3 and 50 on the inside, so 50 divided by 3. I need to round this off to the nearest 1 minute and nearest tenth. So I end up having 16.7 is going to be my answer. Let's check out number 8. 8 says a scale model of a train has an engine that's 17.2 centimeters long, 10 cars that are each 13.5 centimeters long. Each centimeter on the model represents 0.8 meters on the actual train. How long is the actual train? So 2 more problems. Here's how a train works. There's like the engine in the front, it's got the wheels and it pulls all the other trains. And then it's got cars behind it. And there are a total of 10, so 10 cars behind it. This is car 1, car 2, car 3. So this thing is a different size than the rest of them. My train engine is 17.2 centimeters long. And this is the model right here. And each of these cars is 13.5. So this is 13.5, and this is 13.5, and this is 13.5, and I have 10 of them. So guess what I'm going to do? That's right, I'm going to multiply by 10. So what I do is I add my engine plus 10 cars. 10 cars. And that's going to get me the total model. It's not the actual train length. Now, if I want to find out what the actual length is, I'm going to multiply that by the scale factor, which is 0.8, because each centimeter, in centimeters, by the way, the model length in centimeters, which each centimeter represents 0.8 meters, so I'm going to multiply that by 0.8, and that's going to get me my answer, and my answer ends up being roughly 121.76. We are on the last one. Whoop-de-doo. All right, number 8. Number 8, blue pen again. Sorry, number 9. Last one. Roger made a leather belt in crafts class. He attached a buckle at one end and punched 5 equally spaced holes at the other. If the distance between the first hole and the last hole is 10 centimeters, how far apart are the holes? So here we have a belt, and we have a buckle on one end. Let's just say buck. And we've got 5 holes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equally spaced holes. So the distance from the first hole all the way to the last hole is 10 centimeters. They're all equally spaced holes. How far apart are the holes? If they're asking how far apart the holes are, they're not, they're asking like, how big are the spaces? And between these 5 holes, how many spaces are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're taking these 10 centimeters right here between the first and last hole, and you're dividing it by the number of spaces. So you have 10 divided by 4. I know a lot of people are thinking, oh, you just divide 10 divided by 5. No, divided by 4, because there are 4 spaces, and that's what you're looking for, is the length of the spaces. So 10 divided by 4, remember, the first number is in, and the last number is out. So 10 in, 4 out, and you just kind of divide like normal. Once you figure that out, you get an answer of 2.5 centimeters. And that is your answer. That was just about 15 minutes. I know they're kind of tricky. Go ahead and try those and calculate it on your own, see if you can get the right answer. Good luck.